Heptapu. This is Offset Segmet, your esoteric numerologist. This is part 3 with the number 13 and the revelation of the divine feminine. I left off talking about the snake and the woman, Eve, in the garden. What I'd like to do now is talk more about what does the snake metaphysically mean. The snake represents healing and wisdom and transformation. The transformation is because of the shedding of its skin, and it's related to the feminine energy because the woman sheds the lining of her uterus every 28 days in menstruation. And so we see here this similarity between the two. What is interesting is that the feminine aspect of the snake is related to the Kundalini energy, or the Shakti power that the woman has during the orgasm that releases energy and creates a portal. The masculine aspect of that snake is the dragon. The dragon is the one that controls, dominates, and subjugates the feminine principle. So there is duality between the serpent that becomes the dragon. What is interesting dealing with Genesis is that we are dealing with genes and genealogy, and the fact that the tree of life was not really a tree. There was no actual tree. The tree of good and evil was not an actual tree as well. The fruit was not the edible fruit, but it was the fruit of intercourse between Adam and Eve, who were a race that was created by the Elohim. And so they became the tree of good and evil, and the fruit was the intercourse in which opened their eyes to see that they had limited powers according to what the snake had told them, and the snake was nothing but a code. The snake resembles our DNA strand sequence. And so in order to get to the tree of life, Adam and Eve were using the frequency of intercourse to obtain that Kundalini energy to change the frequency of their DNA to get that 13th DNA strand of the tree of life that would make them gods and immortals. So the whole story of Genesis deals with creation from the mother, the genes of Isis. And you're going to see, I'm going to get into some actual words with this, that gene is the actual word of 31. The zodiac is the actual word of 31. Garden is an actual word also of 31. So we're starting to see some similarities. Now gate is Chaldean. It is the number 13. And so we're seeing that the garden is also the gate, which is really the womb. The laboratory of creation was inside of the woman. And so when the Elohim had created the male and the female to work the garden, it was with a certain mandate to keep the energy level of these particular humans or humanity at a certain vibratory rate that would never reach the level of their creators. The disobedience was for humanity to be like God. So I'm going to carry this forth and to really have you to understand that women are the first geneticists. That too is the number 22. It's the same number of Taret, who was the fertility goddess in the Dendera zodiac, which is the number of an architect. So, being the biological clocks or clocks of destiny, this clearly shows the power of 13, because 13 is about the power of the feminine principle, and it is about the subjugation and domination of this power, so that the man had to rise in patriarchy and take control. I want to talk about the gate as well, because there was a gate that was open, and that gate that was open was December 21st, 2012. This is when the Mayan long count calendar of the 13th Baktun of the 5,125 years, which when you add 5 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5 equals the number 13, was the epoch of a new era of another 26,000 years. And so this is the gate from which the energy of the divine feminine principle is now coming through. Since the year 2000, when we started the twos, 2 is the number of the feminine. It is the number of partnership and cooperation. It is the number of intuition. And so now, through this energy of the gate now being open, you're going to find now more of this energy coming into women who are awakening into their divinity, awakening into their creative power. What is interesting as well is that it represents resurrection. 13 means resurrection. 13 is number 67, which when you add 6 plus 7 together, you get the number 13. So it equals resurrection. Now I want to take this story forward from the cursed snake who was supposed to bite at the heel of the woman, Eve, which is the mother of life, to Revelation, where you see another woman. This woman is not on earth this time. This woman is dressed in the clothes of the sun. And so she's in her light body. She is standing on the moon, which means that she's a lunar deity. She's wearing a crown of stars around her head, which says that she has the ownership of astrology and the zodiac. This is Isis Aset. She is travailing in birth, but the birth is that of her children, who are the chosen ones, who are the 144,000. And when you add 1 plus 4 plus 4, you're going to get the number 9. 9 is the number of completion. It is the number of finality. It is the number of attainment. They represent the remnant. These are they who are the starseeds, the indigos, the crystals, the rainbows, those who are in the consciousness of evolution or Christ consciousness. So these are her children. Also, another analogy can be made that she is giving birth to a whole nother world. So if I were to look at the Mother Earth, her Schumann resonance, which is her heartbeat, it used to be 7.8 megahertz, is now 12 megahertz. So she's quickly moving into the 13 megahertz, which makes time faster. Instead of a 24-hour day, it becomes more or less like a 16-hour day, and you can feel it. Because this resonance is picking up, it means that our our 13 mu waves, which is the number 22, is also increasing. It's activating our 13 chakras, which in turn will activate the 13-strand DNA. And so if we look at the Revelation 12 of the dragon attacking the Great Mother, it is nothing but the old masculine patriarchy in an attempt to devour or suppress the Mother Principle. What is interesting is that her children are sealed in their foreheads, which means that their pineal gland is open and operating. They can see with their third eye. So the attack of the dragon against the mother is that she fled into the wilderness, which is called civilization. And so he is sending a flood of materiality to tempt the mother to be consumed in the 3D drama of this time. Unable to be affected by this, the dragon pursues the mother's children. And so this is what is going on today, that the attack deals with materiality over spirituality. The fact that you are listening to this message means that you want to know more about ascension and about the science of numerology. Numerology decodes, breaks codes, and is able to get through the symbology of what has been exoterically told to people as the truth. I hope that you have found this information empowering and enlightening. And I also want to say that you can use the Lucky 13 as a mantra to bring you more money and more favor in your life, simply by saying 13, 13, 13, 13. Watch it make a difference in your life. More of this can be seen if you actually have in your core numbers 5 and 8, 4 and 9, or 6 and 7, because they all add 13. If you were born on the 13th date, more so, you own that power. And so I'm going to close out this video, invite you to my website, spiritwisdomnumerology.com, if you'd like to know more about numerology, or if you'd like to invite me to do a workshop on numerology on the various subject matters. Hatapu and Merwet.